Thank you everybody for registering and calling in to attend Ideal Credit Union's 95th annual meeting. We are ready to begin, so at this time I would like to turn the meeting over to Ideal Credit Union's Chairman of the Board, Peter Olsen.
Good evening. My name is Peter Olsen, and I'm Board Chair of Ideal Credit Union. I'd like to welcome all of you to the 95th annual meeting of the membership and call this meeting to order. First and foremost, we thank you for taking the time to join us tonight via webinar. We hope you and your families are safe and staying healthy. This past year has certainly been a difficult one. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I ask everyone on the line to join me in a moment of silence to honor those lost to COVID-19 and for all the families impacted by a loss during the pandemic. Thank you. During the course of this meeting, we will periodically unmute the lines to allow for action to be taken on various items. We ask for your cooperation to keep background noise to a minimum, and thank you in advance for your cooperation. And now I would like to call on Craig Spreiter, our Secretary of the Board. Craig, we can't quite hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to report that there are more than 99 members registered and present tonight, which establishes a quorum according to our bylaws. This is a legal meeting, and I certify that notice was sent to all members of the time and date of this meeting as prescribed by the bylaws.
Thank you, Craig. I'd like to call your attention to the rules of order and remind everyone that these rules are in effect throughout the business meeting. These rules can be found on the annual meeting page on the credit union's website at idealcu.com/am21. Can I get a motion to adopt these rules?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
The motion has been made and seconded. We will now unmute the lines for a vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? The motion is approved. Our next order of business is the reading and approval of minutes from our last annual meeting. I would gladly accept the motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
So moved.
And a second?
I second.
We will again unmute the lines for a vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? The motion is approved. I'd also accept a motion to dispense with the reading of all of the reports that are included in the annual report, which again can be found on the annual meeting page on the credit union's website. Is there a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
I second.
Again, we will now unmute the lines for a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? The motion is approved. As an active community partner, Ideal Credit Union supports a variety of important causes that help fill a void and bring essential services to those in need. In 2020, your credit union donated thousands of dollars through the Ideal Credit Union Community Foundation and employee and board of director contributions to the Minnesota Brain Tumor 5K, financial literacy programs, local area food shelves and food programs, local veterans groups, the Salvation Army Coats for Kids drive, and many other worthy causes. Ideal Credit Union employees, volunteers, and family members are always ready to lend a hand and donate hundreds of volunteer hours each year helping in our local communities. Whether it's planning and implementing the Minnesota Brain Tumor 5K, making donations to Meals on Wheels, or walking 60 miles in support of breast cancer research, our devoted volunteers put the credit union philosophy of people helping people into action. Last spring, President and CEO Brian Sherrick accepted a Credit Unions for You challenge to give back to essential workers and support our local community. The idea for credit unions for you was started by Dave Bowden at Highway Federal Credit Union, who challenged other Minnesota credit union CEOs to step up and show our appreciation to essential workers on the front lines of the pandemic. To help combat food insecurity among some of our most vulnerable citizens, Brian went to ASOP's table in St. Paul to bring longtime Ideal Credit Union member Tony Mahmoud and surprise him with a check for $1,000 to support their partnership with Eastside Elders to provide hot meals to seniors living at the Cambric Senior Apartments. Eastside Elders serves elderly age 60 plus on the east side of St. Paul. They provide transportation, chore help, grocery delivery, caregiver support, wellness service, and much more. Eastside Elders' mission is to create a circle of care around the elders in the Dayton's Bluff, Payne Phelan, and Conway Battle Creek neighborhoods, empowering seniors to live safe and independent lives in their homes. Ideal Credit Union's popular community appreciation events went virtual last year, August, making it super easy to attend. The 7th annual event gave away almost $10,000 in cash prizes and donations, including 10 $500 grand prizes, 5 $250 prizes, and even 10 Bucky Bear Youth prizes. Overall, Ideal gave away $6,750 to 25 lucky winners and donated another $3,000 to local area food shelves in the community the credit union serves. Attendees were able to join online and on social media for fun, community give back, and a chance to win cash prizes during all 5 virtual events. Ideal Credit Union Community Foundation presented checks to 6 local community food shelf partners that reside within our 6 branch locations to help them restock their shelves. The recipients were the Open Door in Eagan, the Hugo Good Neighbors Food Shelf, the North St. Paul Emergency Food Shelf, Neighbors Inc. in Invergrove Heights, Valley Outreach in Stillwater, and the Christian Cupboard in Woodbury. Ideal Credit Union VIP Plus members received a cash payout in January 2021 of $438,000, or 7% of the credit union's total earnings for 2020, through our exclusive VIP Plus program. Ideal rewarded 3,381 VIP Plus members who qualified in 2020 with cash dividends between $50 and $700, which were automatically deposited into the member savings account. Since the program's inception, Ideal Credit Union has paid out over $4.6 million to VIP Plus members. Ideal's Board of Directors, Supervisory Committee, and Executive Staff met virtually with national and local legislators in Washington, D.C. and the state capitol in St. Paul to urge support of credit union-friendly policies and protections that enable us to better serve our members. Legislative priorities in 2020 included protecting our tax-exempt status, relief from burdensome regulation, and enhanced security measures to protect member data from cyber attack and data breaches. I'd like to thank the Board of Directors and the Supervisory Committee for their leadership in 2020 and our employees for providing excellent service to our members. I also extend a sincere thank you to all our valued members for their ongoing support. Your loyalty ensures our continued success. And now I'd like to invite Brian Sherrick, the President and CEO of our credit union, to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome everyone to the 95th annual meeting of the Ideal Credit Union members. I'd like to extend my gratitude on having this opportunity to update the membership on our response to the COVID-19 national emergency, review some outstanding financial highlights of 2020, and report several nice accomplishments also made last year. I would like to encourage all the members to review the annual report, which is full of great information our marketing area put together for you. Before I get started on last year, at this time, I'd like to thank the board, the supervisory committee for the terrific efforts in 2020. Our chair, Peter Olsen, and the board leadership have done an outstanding job adapting to the COVID-19 restrictions. With no playbook in hand or experience on how to handle a pandemic, they immediately modified all meetings and training to be conducted in a virtual manner to ensure Ideal Credit Union is running optimally. Since volunteers have been utilizing remote meetings for several years, when the pandemic hit, a very smooth transition occurred to remote and video teleconferencing. Many thanks to all the volunteers for adjusting to this format so quickly. In regard to COVID-19, as many of you know, in an effort to stay safe, Ideal Credit Union made some temporary changes last March. To protect members' and employees' health, we closed branch lobbies at all locations, asking members instead to make appointments to ensure crowd control and social distancing was followed at all times. We moved approximately 65% of our employees to a work-from-home environment and immediately curtailed all travel for work. We encourage members to use digital banking, ATMs, drive-through, electronic payments, and debit and credit cards. We offered skip-a-pay and refinance options to help with the challenges on loans and move first due dates out 90 days while encouraging online loan applications and fulfillment. We immediately began hiring more call center agents and are still in the process of hiring more to help our members navigate through the remote environment. Prior to this meeting, we asked our members for comments for the annual meeting. Right after the first year, we also began working with touchstone surveys to see how our members are feeling about the pandemic changes. We thank you for your responses to the survey and appreciate your remarks on the annual meeting. These comments will assist us in making Ideal Credit Union even stronger and provide better service. Overwhelmingly, 2 questions surfaced from the annual meeting and the survey. 1, when will the branches go back into full service with doors open? Our plan calls for our doors to be unlocked by mid-May. With social distancing still mandated in the branch and appointments still highly encouraged to assist us in maintaining good crowd control and provide better service. Our Inver Grove Heights branch is currently under construction while we're adding a drive-through and will be open sometime in early July. The second question is, why is there such a long wait in the contact center? Although we have been hiring for the contact center since the pandemic started in March 2020, we are still running understaffed in the call center. Our plan calls for more staffing and adding technology to assist members in receiving balances and ability to transfer money through the phone automation. Our goal is to have the average wait time under a minute as soon as possible. The pandemic, several stimulus checks from the government, and the recent labor shortage challenges have created the environment we are managing through today. We thank you for your patience while we remedy this issue. Despite the challenges we worked through in 2020, our credit union recognized growth last year, outstanding growth last year. On page 19 and 20 of your annual report, you can find these numbers I'm about to review. Assets grew to $858 million, or 12.5%. Member deposits grew to $709 million, or 16.4%. Member loans grew to $670 million, or 13.5%. Our net worth now is $83 million, which is a growth of 7.83%. And our ROA exceeded $6 million last year in 2020, which was a 21% increase over 2019. 2 areas that led the way in growth for Ideal Credit Union were our Wealth Advisors Department, which now has over $134 million in assets under management. If you're interested in developing a financial plan, please see Craig Lundquist or Kristen Becker. You can make an appointment online or call 651-773-2876. They'd love to help you out. Our mortgage area, which is now servicing over $385 million in first mortgages, had an outstanding year as well. If you're interested in pursuing the American Dream, please make an appointment online or call our line at 770-7000. Our mortgage team will be delighted to help you out. As we finished 2020, regulators from the Department of Commerce and NCUA came in for a look and gave the Ideal Credit Union the highest positive rating they can give a credit union. My gratitude goes out to the senior management team for making this happen. In 2020, our employees embarked and did an outstanding job on converting to a new loan origination system. Our goal was to ensure as little disruption as possible to the membership, and I'm confident in saying we hit that goal with outstanding conversion. Our lending team tested over 700 applications before we went live. The new system will assist us in providing a much better integration to our core, improve security, and will help us provide faster service. In 2020, Ideal employees and the Community Foundation were also very busy in the communities, as Peter mentioned. For the 11th year in a row, our foundation sponsored the Minnesota Brain Tumor 5K. Since 2010, this great event has raised over $800,000 for research, which is one of the biggest events for the brain tumor research in the country. In 2020, for the 4th year in a row, the Stillwater Gazette awarded Ideal Credit Union the best credit union in East Metro, which is voted on by their 45,000 readers. We also, for the first time, received this award for the Forest Lake community, which voted Ideal Credit Union as the best credit union in that area, which also was voted on by their 23,000 readers. I also want to mention 5 long-term employees who are now enjoying retirement. These 5 employees' combined total years of service is 149 years of service. Cindy Kurtz, our Director of Marketing, retired after 25 years of service with Ideal. Kathy Schwartz, our mortgage processor, retired after 26 years of service. And Mary Cooley, one of our long-term North St. Paul tellers, retired after 30 years of service. And Teresa Nelson, our loan processing manager, retired after 37 years of service. At the end of next month, Chris Fredericks, our VP of Lending, will be retiring after 31 years of service. I want to thank all of these long-term employees for their major contributions they have made over the years at Ideal. If I could get a virtual round of applause, that would be great. Thank you. At this time, I'd also like to thank all the employees of Ideal Credit Union who were asked to pivot on a dime and responded accordingly and did a great job during the pandemic of 2020. Also, today doesn't happen without a lot of effort. I want to thank Jason and Jane and the marketing team for putting this together, and Melissa from Human Resources who is doing a terrific job tonight with our technology. Finally, I want to thank you, the members. We treasure your ongoing support and appreciate you choosing Ideal Credit Union as your financial institution. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Brian. There are no items of unfinished or new business to discuss at this time, so we'll move on to elections. All nominations for the Board of Directors were to have been received by February 1st, 2021. The nominating committee reviewed all letters of intent and selected the following 3 candidates to fill the available 3-year terms: Lou Lambert, Jim Mosner, and Danielle Duchemin. Therefore, no board elections will be held, and congratulations to Lou, Jim, and Danielle. All right, it's now the highlight of the evening, the time I butcher how to pronounce certain people's names, otherwise known as the door prize portion. We have selected a total of 17 winners tonight, starting with 2 $500 grand prize winners who will be announced at the end. First, the 15 lucky $100 winners, which I have right here. The winners are Jay Bell, Christine Perry, Richard Walls, Mark Spider, Jennifer Moe, Mandy Eramus, Pam Karras Johnson, Fanny Fernandez, Richard Osborne, Dennis Bauer, Gina Yang, Jill Bergeson, Brenda Swanson, Judy Shadwald, and Rochelle Whitner. Finally, it's time to announce the winners of our $500 grand prize. And the winners are Julie Pitt and Mark Cummins. Congratulations to all. Ideal's marketing department will be contacting the winners tomorrow via email and phone with phone and instructions for claiming your prize, so please keep a watch out for that. Before we adjourn, I'd just like to invite you to complete a brief survey about your experience tonight. Your feedback will be helpful as we plan for future annual meeting webinars. The survey will be presented as you log out of the meeting. Thank you in advance for your input, and thank you all again for attending. Have a good night.